Sean McCabe. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, and welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And we do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, with as little as 15 hours. Also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now on today's show, Anything Goes Friday, my guest is Anutza Bellissimo, who, if you recall, was on last Friday's show. Now since then, we've had a coaching call to discuss what she's doing right now, what she's looking to do, and how to best move forward. So right now, Anutza is a highly paid executive consultant in the field of stress and anger management for executives and professionals like those in the medical field. She works with her clients one-on-one for a minimum of 12 weeks, usually 1 to 2 hours per week, to help them be able to cope with their stress and anger. Now, just as any consultant or coach knows, there's only so many hours per day that you can actually work with clients. So it's truly trading time for money. Now, if Anutza doesn't meet with her current clients or keep filling the pipeline of new clients for her high-end consulting, then she's not going to have any income. So Anutza is looking to leverage her time and come up with a solution as to how she can effectively work with more people but spend less time. So we're going to get into a little bit about some of the strategies that she's able to incorporate into her business that will enable her to free up some of her time and effectively help more people and work less. And obviously, she wants to make more money in doing so. Now, just like most entrepreneurs, Anutza really knows her stuff. She truly is an expert in her field, but she doesn't even know where to start, and to say that she's not tech savvy is probably an understatement. Not only that, but she does not know how to craft the message that she really wants, that's going to enable to get people to sign up for whatever it is, if she's doing a beta launch of a group program. So she really needs some help with some crafting the message. So today I'm going to talk to Anutza about the strategy of getting paid to build some courses, the tech that she'll need in order to make that happen, resources, and much more. Now we'll also get into some information needed for crafting those messages to our current database and setting up sales funnels as well. So just in case you missed the last week's show, Anutza Bellissimo is an international best-selling author, of highly effective executive, and a woman's guide to transforming anger and stress into personal power and success. She helps individuals struggling to effectively manage their stress and anger in personal and professional relationships when there's communication breakdown in personal relationships and ineffective communication skills in the business. So be sure to stick around because when I come back, I'm going to be joined by Anutza Bellissimo, and we're going to get into a discussion for building some passive income strategies and help her leverage her time.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining us today. I didn't do a transition, Anutza. You've been on the entire time, by the way.
No problem.
So thanks for joining us today. I didn't do a transition, as you noticed, just making a clear cut for editing purposes. But thanks for joining us. If you're just joined in, if you're just watching, my guest is an expert when it comes to the field of anger management and conflict resolution. Anutza Bellissimo is an international best-selling author, CEO of the Stress and Anger Management Institute, has been featured on the History Channel's 7 Deadly Sins, and works with CEOs and executives to minimize conflicting workforce behavior and engineer valuable organizational performance. So please give it up for my guest today. Send her a flurry of loves and likes and thumbs up and heart icons going across the screen for my guest, Anutza Bellissimo.
It's almost as if my name is a tongue twister for you.
It's great until I actually, if I just say it and don't think about it, I'm perfectly fine. But when I'm actually thinking about your name, it messes me up for some reason. I don't know why that is.
I love it. I'm extremely humbled and excited to be here all at the same time. And, obviously I'm really good at what I do. Yet there are aspects of business that I refuse to take on simply because I know that they're, not my strength.
Right.
So I look to experts like yourself to help me move and guide that process, to help guide me through. So I am really, really grateful that I get to be on again with you today.
So in case everybody's wondering why Anutza's picture's up and why she's not live, she's not in a place where she can actually Skype in live. So we just have her audio coming in through the program. So it's not a technical problem. She's just not able to Skype with us through video, just able to call in through audio. So Anutza, just to recap the viewers who watched last week's episode, or to fill in those who maybe didn't catch last week's episode, can you give us your quick origin story, your quick background, how you started, who you help, and specifically how you help them? Because I think the how you help them is very important to understand for what we're going to talk about here throughout the hour.
Fabulous, no problem. So last week when we had our first interview, I shared with you that I started working in the personal growth and development field in 1999. And, in 2005, I began specializing in stress and anger management curriculum. So it's considered psychoeducation, not psychotherapy. And so what I did was I began working with organizations like Boeing, L3, high functioning organizations where we need to minimize the effects of stress and really focus on productivity. So, and it's not just, for people who are putting things on the moon. This is for every factor of an individual who runs a small business, is a parent, because we all function differently when we're under stress. So in that aspect, what I do is, in general, that overview is I help people improve their stress management, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal communication skills. Most people think that things like anger management is something that's dealt with through psychotherapy, but really it's not. It's a skill set, and it's just like driving, in other words. The more you practice and you engage in improving and strengthening that muscle, the better you get. So the more you practice a sort of communication, the better you can communicate under stress. So not only do I focus on stress management programs for individuals and organizations, I focus on how we can improve their assertive communication skills and heighten levels of emotional fitness, which is also known as empathy or emotional intelligence. Okay. Does that help or make any sense?
Yeah, it definitely. And so I guess the most important factor for moving forward in today's discussion is, how do you currently deliver to your clients?
Okay. So there's a couple of ways that the service is delivered. Typically, an organization will call up and say, we have a need for training and development. Can you share with us the type of specific skill sets and how we would benefit from your service? So that's one aspect, is looking at the training from an organizational standpoint for small groups within that organization. Most of the time, though, they're really calling because there's one person or an individual who needs more attention than the others, and they want to focus on that individual. So a lot of my work is done one-on-one eventually, and it's a fabulous way to work with someone, yet it's not the best way to reach a large amount of individuals, a large group, and train that, on a larger scale. So typically it's an individual one-on-one basis, and that's, whether it's online, seeing my clients face-to-face, wherever they may be, in the world, we would typically meet in office or online, but it's always been, well, not always, the majority for the past 7 years, it's been one-on-one. Okay. And I'd like to go and expand more of that online community and group feeling so that we can have a larger reach.
Okay, so a couple of questions came up. So first question is, you're being contacted by businesses to come in and speak to their groups. And so first, are they just finding you? How are they finding you? Google search?
Google search, yes.
And
sometimes referrals, word of mouth, but
so what you deliver in the group setting, is that just a one-time, or is it a series of meetings that you go and meet with the group? How is that delivered?
it can be a quarterly. In a group setting, it's typically a quarterly or once a year type of meeting where that training and professional development curriculum is delivered for that small group of supervisors, typically between 10 to 15 supervisors, or you're speaking maybe, you know, if it's one-on-one, then I'm working with a senior vice president, right, or I'm working with, you know, someone who is not appropriate for the group setting.
Okay, so I'm just sticking with the group setting for now because obviously I see two distinct businesses or clients here. One is the corporation who's contacting you to bring you in to speak to the group. So what you deliver in that group setting is obviously very different than what you deliver in a one-on-one setting, correct?
Yes, because a group setting, you have to be generalized in your content, and a individual one-on-one is very, it's customized to their specific personal objective and their learning style and their assessment result.
So we're using the, would it be a fair statement to say that you're using the introduction to the group setting, or when they bring you into coach or to talk to the group, that you're somewhat upselling at least one or more of them into one-on-one, or the company is approaching you to talk to some of these individuals on a one-on-one basis?
Occasionally, the organization will request that I make services available to their employees. But most of the time, organizations are wanting to gather that specific group, give them a certain amount of knowledge, and then release them back to the workforce so they can apply that knowledge. And they don't typically have a follow-up process, which lacks, you know, I think that's one of the shortcomings of that, is they don't get the type of follow-up support that they really need, that the people in the one-on-one programs are receiving.
Okay. Do you have a follow-up process, or is it just that the companies are not investing in the follow-up process?
The companies, most of the time, don't invest in that process on an ongoing basis. For large groups. When it comes to, you know, they will have benefits for employees, but it's very different to have an ongoing type of support and follow-up for individuals who need it from the group setting, as opposed to having that as part of the actual curriculum and the entire program when you're on an individual training basis.
So with the group events, do you charge per hour, per individual, how do you charge for the group setting?
So the group setting is designed typically for the hours that are involved, not necessarily per individual.
So if you're there for a half a day, say 3 to 4 hours, you charge X number of dollars.
Exactly.
And what is X?
Well, what is X? I mean, it could be anything between $2,500 to, and it just goes up from there, depending on the amount of topic, okay, the subject, and it's really based on the amount of training that they need, those specific subjects. So if we're covering several different subjects and it's a 2 and 3 day workshop, that's very different from, you know, 2 hours.
And are you the only one that delivers these, or you have staff that go in and deliver these as well?
I have co-facilitators, and it just depends again on whether, you know, the gravity of the training. Most of the time we can do with one facilitator when it's a one-day workshop. Several day workshops, I prefer to have co-facilitation.
Okay. And how many of these group settings would you do per month or per quarter?
Those are pretty time intensive, so I really don't focus on that very often because it is so time consuming for us, for the business in general. It takes away from the time to be able to see the individual one-on-one clients, which in the long run tend to have more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Long-term results and higher gains.
Okay. So give me an example, say a $2,500 group setting. How many hours would that be? How many hours worth of work?
That's a 4-hour type of program.
And how many hours would it take to prepare to get ready for that event?
Probably another 4 hours maximum, because that's a pretty short.
Right.
It's a pretty simple, already designed curriculum, and they just choose their topics, and we discuss specific results that they're willing or wanting to have within the presentation.
And is there group participation in that?
Yes.
It's not just lecture, it's group participation?
Exactly, yes. It's not just lecture.
Okay. So based on that works out to be approximately $156.25 per hour if it takes 8 hours to facilitate.
If it takes 8 hours and yeah, we're talking about drive time and just having the discussions with I'm talking about everything.
Yeah. So and when it comes to your individual programs, those are one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the only one doing those, or you have facilitators that help with that as well?
No, I'm working one-on-one with individuals.
Okay. And so can you give me your low-end package? How many weeks, how many hours?
A low-end package is a $2,500 investment for that's a low end. So we're talking about 12 hours.
And is 12 hours worth of face-to-face time?
50 minutes approximately, yeah, each session.
Okay.
For face-to-face time.
And what about the prep work involved in that?
There's really no prep work involved in that. They complete their assessment, and the curriculum is designed around their assessment results and their personal objectives.
Right.
I would say that's minimum, maybe in 30 minutes to an hour, if that, because I've been doing that for so long. It's like clockwork. And I could do it in my sleep, basically.
Okay. So any given week, how many one-on-one sessions are you doing?
I feel like I'm being interrogated for the FBI. I've done something about helping the universe, and I'm in trouble. It fluctuates. I don't have a specific answer for you, but it fluctuates because there are certain points of the business where the clients are more, for example, typically, if you think about stressful times of the year, the holidays, okay?
Yeah.
So there's a fluctuation in business there. If you think about Super Bowl.
If you ballparked an average.
Okay.
30 hours a week?
Approximately, yes. Let's say that. That's, on an average week.
30 hours a week for one-on-one, and then, doing workshops, and that's on top of that.
Well, I would say one-on-one's about 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week?
Mm-hmm.
So, Anutza, can you talk a little bit about what it is you're looking to do?
Mm-hmm. So, what we spoke about last week was more of the ability to work with groups in an online setting so that we have a community of individuals that are supporting each other, and should they need that one-on-one time, then they're able to access that. But it's more affordable for the average individual to gain that type of knowledge and support through maybe an online, or what would you call that type of program?
Like an information program where you're walking them through all of the steps and all of the same sort of thing that you would actually do with them if it's one-on-one?
Yes, but it's not one-on-one.
Right.
So it's not specific to their, it's general.
It's more like what you're doing with the groups when you meet with the groups in a company, where it's more generalized information.
Well, yeah, and even with the groups, there's still a sense of personalization because the groups are small. There's never more than 12 individuals in a group.
Right.
So the groups are small, and it's easy within that 4-hour time frame to deliver, personal one-on-one interpretation and results.
So is it, are you trying to, I just lost my train of thought. I had something, but I lost it.
So what I'm trying to do.
Okay, sorry. Are you looking to take your model or your business into a different segment, offer it to a different group of clients? Because right now your ideal target market is executives and busy professionals who can easily afford the $2,500 price point. So affording it's not the issue. For your ideal target market, who are highly paid executives and highly paid doctors and people in those types of profession. So the price point isn't the issue. So in introducing this online, so let's talk about the reasoning for trying to go to an online group community setting. Is it more because you want to make it available to more people by making it less expensive and less sort of one-on-one time, which means you're basically going after a different target market? Or are you still going to go after the same target market, just make it more convenient for them? So talk me through sort of your rationale behind some of that.
Well, I'm going to go back to our last discussion where we talked about the possibility of reaching more individuals through the online community. For example, there's organizations where you can log into and have a feedback, some type of engaging conversations, and individuals who may have gone through a program at one point and then they're going through it again, and they're there to support each other. Right. Now, to answer your question, I don't know if that is specifically, for example, there is, the Highly Effective Executive, which is the book that I wrote, is designed and geared specifically for that high-performing individual, right, and high-responsibility individual. Or if we're talking about that everyday average person who is calling and just wants to work on their relationship, their anger inside of their relationship.
Okay.
So when I came to you, I was hoping to gain some clarity around not only the technology that you use to share your concepts in your show, right? I wanted to understand how you use your tech savvy to engage with and introduce yourself to more individuals.
Right. Now, it's by using this, it's still being directed to a very specific target audience. So even though right now,
entrepreneurs,
through Facebook, I'm trying to attract entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, speakers. I continuously mention that throughout the program. That's who I'm trying to attract, or that's who I help. So it becomes very clear when somebody's tuning into the program that this is a show that's geared towards helping those individuals through strategies and getting them seen, heard, noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device, which basically elevates their authority and will elevate their income as well by being able to connect to a larger audience. But even though they're connecting to a larger audience, they're still narrowed down into a very specific ideal target market. So I'm just trying to reach more people. So by reaching more people, there will be more of my ideal target market will actually see the content and then want to engage or view it and potentially engage with it. So is that sort of the strategy you were looking to do, is just open yourself up so that more people know who you are?
I think that's an excellent position to take, because I was thinking about this as you're discussing that with me, and it's not necessarily that I want to eliminate the market that I'm working with and take on a new one, right, John. What I'm looking for is to increase engagement and visibility within that environment that I'm already serving, that profession and that direction. Because actually, when I think about it, if, like you said, price point is not the issue, because considering the average, which is, I actually lowballed, the average program. It's really more of a $3,500 investment,
right,
per individual for just a level 1 program. It's not uncommon for an organization to spend $30,000 to work one-on-one for an individual, per year. But that's not the average that I'm seeking. It's more of that individual that feels that they don't have the time. They are a very high-functioning, extremely busy individual that is either an entrepreneur or an executive or a physician or an attorney, or, there we go. It's that list.
Yes.
And they feel as though they don't have the time, and they're not sure about investing in themselves because they don't understand the benefits. Do you understand what I'm sharing with you? Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense, because the ideal target market you need to understand what their desired outcome is. So what is their desired outcome, and what benefits are they going to receive by using your solution? So the path to getting that desired outcome, what benefits are they going to receive? Is it going to mean that they have a better personal relationship with their spouse, or they have a better professional relationship with their customers and their clients or their employees, and means that they're spending less time on this or more time on that, and they generate more money, or whatever those benefits are to them to reach their desired outcome. But it's important to understand what is the desired outcome of your ideal target market, because that is key when it comes to the messaging that you're going to put out there consistently, persistently.
Well, I think there's 2 targets, because we mentioned that earlier, right? There's the individual, and then there's the organizational aspect of it.
Right. So they both have different desired outcomes?
Well, at times, yes. But I think in general, the universal concept is that we want to be more productive in order to increase our income, typically through an organization, right? Our bottom line is our agenda, and we want happy people in the workforce, and we want to realign them with what it is that they're here to do.
Right.
And then you've got the other hand is the same type of individual who has this desire, but it's for who has a desire to improve their personal relationships, because everything in their work their work is under control. It's their personal relationships, maybe their most likely their marriage,
Right.
That is suffering from their lack of empathy and assertive communication skills, or their stress management skills.
Okay. So you're looking to expand your visibility, and by expanding your visibility, attracting more clients, but not so much more clients for the one-on-one, but more clients into a program where you get to work with them in a more of a group setting, to leverage your time and to increase potentially some sort of a passive income stream.
That would be ideal.
Create a passive income stream, so that and you want to utilize the group or the community feeling or culture, so that truly the people that have gone through it are trying to help each other out without you being involved in every single piece of communication that goes on within the group.
Correct. And I think that obviously there's benefits to that group, not just having access to the training, but also, having live aspects of training, or something that really, also gives them the opportunity to engage with me from time to time, because there are people who are just going to want to ask questions and have some feedback without getting into an entire program.
Right. So when it comes to the program itself, it's you're talking about doing a generalized program. Do you have a vision of how you see the program that you're talking about? You say you want to do an online program or something, modeling what you currently do with clients. Do you have a picture in your mind of what that looks like? Not from the techie standpoint, but just from the deliverability. Like, I need to walk them through this series of events or workshops, and do you have an idea of what you're looking to do?
Well, first, I think the challenge is taking away that stigma, minimizing that around stress and conflict resolution, stress management, anger management. There seems to be a resistance to being exposed, maybe, or being vulnerable for being human.
So there's a key piece here that I have taken away from one of my past past coaches, and that is sell them what they want, but deliver what they need. So they may need stress and anger management, but what is it that they truly want? So that is the communication piece, where you're actually selling them their want, understanding them what is it they truly want, but you deliver stress and anger management.
I got that right. So okay, I need you to paint a clearer picture for me.
So do 100% of your clients come to you because they're specifically looking for stress and anger management, or what is their desired outcome?
Yes, they do. They come in, it's either their HR department is requesting that we design, that we assess them and identify whether or not they need an anger management program, and then the other half are my clients telling me, my wife or my husband thinks I need an anger management program.
So they're basically forced into it.
Yeah, I always say, you're not court ordered, your wife ordered, your husband ordered, your boss ordered.
So what are the benefits that these people receive by completing your program? Like, what are the benefits in their life and their personal, professional basis? Well,
okay, I have several stories that I can share, but to pinpoint specifically, the underlying factor here is that people come to me because they want to change. My gift and the ability and the beauty in what I do is I make the change, the transition point. I facilitate that in a way that executes through I was almost about to say something. inappropriate through the stuff. Okay, I work really quickly to get results. So most people, when they're working with someone in personal growth and development, the reason why they don't want to go to a therapist is because they know they're in for years and months and weeks of and mostly years of this type of talk therapy. The people that come to me are because they want to focus on a skill set. It's a behavior change, and they want to work through that transition point as quickly and easily as possible. We're eliminating that process of years of working through their childhood and all those things that you might think would happen in anger management. It doesn't. It's very skill-based. And when you have high-functioning and quick-moving and people who are high achievers, there's usually very high expectations. And that's why, they're coming to the Stress and Anger Management Institute, is because they understand that we specialize, that there's not anything else besides that skill set. So to deliver change in a quick and effective format is what people come to me for. It doesn't show up that way because they think, I just need some anger management. But really, once they understand the concept of anger management and conflict resolution, they realize quickly that it's a personal growth and development focused on their stress management, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal communication skills that can deliver quite quickly a change process.
Okay, so I'm quite sure people don't search that in Google.
Exactly.
So
anger management is the Google search. Conflict resolution is the Google search. Bullying is the Google search.
But what benefits do they receive? Like, what benefits do they receive from?
So the benefits are happiness, peace, joy, engagement, more money. And those to me are, of course, the end result. But
that's what we're going for, the desired outcome.
Right, but most people are not going to join an anger management program simply because you tell them, well, you'll make more money if you take an anger management course. They don't connect or relate that aspect.
No, but we got on this topic because you said there was a huge stigma with people joining a group anger management class or something.
Right, so people that are looking for this type of service are not Googling how to be more happy.
Right.
They're not Googling how to increase my profits.
So those are great benefits to working through the program.
Yes, those are the benefits.
So that if somebody does go through this program, that they're going to receive those benefits of a happier, healthy relationship with their spouse. They're going to be more productive at work. They're going to potentially, if they're an entrepreneur or a business owner, their business is going to see more income, potentially more income, more growth. So,
and it's funny because a lot of people don't associate the fact that their communication is hindering them from making more money. Their stress management is stopping them from connecting with people. Their lack of empathy or emotional intelligence is not giving them the connection that they want in their relationship.
Right. So you're looking to let's go back to the topic about the stigma that you believe. Is it something that you believe, or is it you've had other people that have gone through the program basically tell you this?
Well, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I had a marketer recently from Yelp call me up and say, we noticed that you don't have any reviews on your site.
Okay.
I said, well, it might be because the senior vice president of ABC isn't interested in sharing with everyone about his anger management problem.
Right.
It's just common. I mean, it just makes sense. And I understand that, but there's got to be, I want to engage with individuals in the benefits of understanding that personal growth and development is really what it is, and the opportunity to engage in a program that can, it's just so funny because, John, I have to tell you, when I think about it, each scenario goes almost 99.9% of the time the same way. They reluctantly pick up the phone and make the phone call and say, I need to learn more about this, or we need to consider this type of training for this individual. And these people come into the office or they meet with me and they're resistant because they just have no clue about what's about to happen for them. And by the time we're done with let's say we just spend 12 hours together, they're actually trying to find a way to stay in the class.
Right, because they've got connected with you. They've learned to know you, like you, and trust you, and they potentially have results from the 12 hours that you've spent together.
Well, I don't know if they're paying just to hang out with me. It's not about me. It's about the results that they're receiving through the type of training that they're receiving. I'm sure that I'm funny and engaging at times, but I don't think they're not just knocking on my door to pay me to come hang out with me. No. It's because they're getting the results that they want, and they want to continue feeling more of that success, more of that experience that they're having through the training.
Right. When I say that they get to know you, like you, and trust you, it's not because they're going to pay you to hang out with them. It's that
you made it sound like people are just paying me to hang out with me, John. That's not so.
That's the entire, in going through the program, because you're basically the major piece of the program, right, on the one-on-one. So if your personality was completely different, dry, less bubbly, and, even though the person could deliver the same stuff in a different fashion, these people may not have the same type of success. Because it boils down to these people get to know you, like you, and trust you, build a relationship with you, and you're actually delivering on the promise that you had given them up front of they're going to reach their desired outcome. They're going to achieve these benefits through working through the program.
Yes. Okay. Exactly.
So in doing this for, delivering this sort of on scale to a larger group of people, mm-hmm. What do you feel is your biggest challenge right now to being able to deliver this message to a larger audience and be effective?
An excellent question. In fact, that's my favorite question thus far. I believe that, and of course, I'm open to, constructive criticism and your interpretation of this idea that I have, is that my vision for that experience is to deliver a quality, valuable, results-driven type of program in an online community. So I am technically challenged. And I know you said this in my introduction, that saying that I'm technically challenged is an understatement. Thank you very much for that vote of confidence there, John. But I will state the fact that I am technically challenged, even though I'm the first one. I'm an early adapter. Whenever there's an update to a program or there's a new gadget that's come out, I love to jump on that and figure out how to use it to make my time and my life easier and more effective, but just to make myself more effective as an individual. And I love to plan. We talked about this. I'm a planner. So anything that gives me the idea or the concept that things can be more organized, and I'm all over it. So for me, being technically challenged, the opportunity to deliver a core valued program that is to the caliber of my expectation is where I get stopped, because I don't feel that I have that knowledge. And so I came to you.
Okay, so let's just assume, take the technology out of the equation. So let's assume you've waved your magic wand and technology is not the issue at all.
Hmm.
So what is your biggest challenge with delivering the type of message you want to deliver to the audience you want to deliver it to?
So then it comes down to, I believe, a marketing aspect so that it's actually valuable to a large number of people, and that it's reaching and gaining the type of visibility. Because no one, well, I'll speak for myself. I wouldn't want to spend my time creating something that isn't serving anybody.
Okay, so getting it out to building your
I feel it's the
exposure.
visibility factor,
So,
correct?
so it's not the content, it's
No, no, that's
not the
no,
delivering of the content,
no.
and it's not sort of how you can create that community within the content. It has nothing to do with the content and you building a community. It all,
Well,
if I,
building the community, yes, has nothing to do with the content. That's
right,
that's already completed over from years of doing this, and having that library and that software. Everything that needs to be delivered is already there. It's really about gaining the visibility of that specific market and those individuals that I speak to and can hear me.
right. So, do you currently belong to any private communities? I think you do. I think you said you were belonging to John Asraf's.
I do.
Okay, so do you see, are you able to take what is working within creating his community and incorporate those same things into your community to make, to get your community to be engaging?
I do, because John is similar in the aspect of personal development,
Right,
and professional development. Yet I have a different angle, and I speak to a certain person who has who uses stress and anger to motivate them, as opposed to the opposite. Um,
right.
so I do, and I like his model, his business model, when it comes to his online, because I've taken John's courses since, my goodness, I'm thinking 12 years, 13, yeah, about 12, 10, 12 years.
Okay,
Since he started, I had gone to his One Coach seminars in San Diego many, many years ago. And so I've seen him grow and develop, and I really enjoy that business model. And I think that for me, if there were an opportunity to do something of that level, that's the type of engagement and community that I would like to see.
so
That's a
you,
perfect example.
so you know that chances are he didn't build that overnight and it took time to develop that.
Of course, just like I didn't build the Stress and Anger Management Institute overnight. Exactly.
So, but you understand how his model works and how he gets engagement from his community, so that you're able to sort of model that, or incorporate your own spin on something like that to, once the people are in your community. From what I'm understanding, it's getting the people into your community.
Yes, you got it.
So it all boils down to gaining visibility, getting the message out there, so people know you, they know you, like you, and trust you. Basically, you have a lot of authority, but you haven't established it in very many places. Would that be a fair statement?
That is an excellent statement. Yes, thank you.
So you need to basically dramatically build out your authority, so that so the authority that you actually already have, people are becoming aware of it and what you have to offer. And then you want a place where they can consume some of your training online and be involved in a community, where that will be a potential lead funnel for you for doing one-on-one coaching. Maybe you do retreat sessions where you
Yes.
take a small group to a retreat somewhere and
I live
over.
in the best retreat place. I mean, Paradise Valley, Arizona is the mecca. I mean, we've got the best resorts and spas for stress management purposes. It's perfect.
So it's really about building up that exposure and having a system, sort of a sales lead funnel system, to get people into your system, whether they're
Now
on,
we're talking, John.
they're on your list, and you're communicating with them, you're delivering them valuable content, you get them into your training program, and from your training program you're creating that community, and within that community you start to make some other offers, such as one-on-one coaching, maybe group retreat sessions, and maybe you offer those as well to the businesses that hire you and bring you in, so that you can, when you're coming into the businesses, you have a very specific sort of game plan of upselling, if for lack of a better term, soft selling to, or making available to any of the businesses that you go to speak to, if anyone's interested in the one-on-one sessions, or even if they're interested in the being part of the community and going through the program without sort of the financial commitment of the one-on-one. And so it's all about getting them into that funnel where you're using that community, you're helping them through the online training, and potentially it gives you that solid, constant lead funnel for your one-on-one coaching clients, and creating resort retreat sort of scenarios where you're working with these individuals over the course of a weekend on their issues.
Yes, exactly. And I give you full permission to move forward.
Okay, so the
Get
budget.
to work, John.
So the budget. So somewhere between $0 and $1 million is the budget.
Tell me what's necessary, John, and I'll get to work.
Okay. So that's all the time that we have now.
It is. It actually is. It's 12:56. We'll have to engage in this conversation later.
So hopefully I was able to provide you with a little bit more clarity. I definitely have some more clarity with your business model, who it is that you're attracting, some of your challenges, the biggest challenge that you have right now, and what it is that you're looking to accomplish. So I think that with that information, I think that we can have a off-the-air discussion to move forward, and put something in place where we can actually map out a game plan to see if it's something that you're interested in executing.
Yes, my biggest challenge, John, is finding out how to have more fun in business, because I love what I do and I would like to do it on a bigger scale, and just be able to help more people at one time. So thank you for today. It's so much fun talking to you. I get super excited.
Excellent. So everyone show Anutza some love by hitting that like button, love button. Share this video with your friends. And Anutza, I look forward to catching up with you soon. I know you have a client's session in about 3 minutes. So
yep.
With that, I'm just going to close off right now. So I'll be back in just a second with closing remarks. And thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with and help entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, just like today's guest, many of you may be stuck in your business, not understand many of the strategies available to increasing and accelerating your authority, or what technology to use in order to achieve the things you want to achieve. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take their business to the next level and would like to get some coaching or consulting advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Let's face it, we all need help in our business. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you own $1 billion company. We all could use some coaching help, as well as services of a specialized consultant or advisor. Now, sometimes we just can't see what needs to get done because we're just too close, or we don't even know what we don't even know. Now, when it comes down to it, every business is after the same thing: attention. Each business needs to get attention of its ideal target market and convey a relevant message that gets them to move to take action. The rest of it comes down to tactics, technology, and the copy to achieve getting that attention. Now, the reason entrepreneurs become best-selling authors, they start a podcast, they hold webinars, or they speak on stage is so that they grab the attention of their prospects, build their authority, share their message so that they can help more people achieve their desired outcome. Now, which they do so by selling more of their products and more of their services. So if you'd like to serve more people, get laser focused on your message, and reach more people so that you can increase your business and your income, then now's the right time to consider being a guest on the Hot Seat Coaching Show or working with me one-on-one to make that happen. Now, we will guide you through what strategies and tactics that will accelerate your authority the quickest, what technology you may need, the message that you need to deliver to your ideal target market. Now, if you need help implementing these same strategies or technology, we're there to help you with that as well. So for more information about the Authority Acceleration Formula, the coaching program, or to be a guest on the show, just connect with me through the website, johnamccabe.com, or through the show's Facebook page. With that, I want to thank you for joining me on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of the John A. McCabe Show. So I wish you an amazing day and have a great weekend. Take care.